Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mystic Melody's Tune In Tuesday with LaFlamme. That's me, your mystic musician. I'm going to be touching today on music that is inspired by tarot and connecting source and universe through tarot to bring a new level of inspiration to your music and to my music. It's totally awesome. So I set the stage over the last many episodes in regards to talking about, initially buying your instrument, bonding with your instrument, creating that sacred space for when you practice and compose, where you can tap into your intuition, connect with source and universe. Just a lot of my techniques, how-tos, breaking out of the fear box, getting out of your comfort zone, the purpose of recording, etc. Right? But today I want to take it to a new level and talk about even more of that mystic side and the melody combined with tarot and what that does to bring inspiration. And later I will post a song about that. But real quick, I'm going to introduce one of the major arcanas and a little story to go with this, the Strength card. So when I first got my deck a while back, I asked what we were meant to do together. And I was brand new, had no understanding of tarot. Now, I know they all have their basic meanings and descriptions that you can flip through in a little book, but I really wanted to dig deep and study all the cards. And so I really wanted to bond so I could have a full experience and grow and mature. So this was the card that my deck chose for us to get to know and learn together. So actually quite fitting and appropriate. So, and mostly because, my journey being in and out of the music industry, growing up around that, fortunately I was relatively protected from a lot of the awfulness that is in that industry, and obviously has been coming out more and more, but there of course still was a lot of hardships, a lot of pain, a lot of disappointment, a lot of pleasures. So definitely was not short of things to write about. But to be honest, most of it was, very just a lot of my woundedness coming out and broken relationships and, like heartbreak and all that stuff. And I kind of got to that point where I wanted my music to become, more depthful, more spiritual, more about source and universe and, me growing and maturing out of that painful past and stepping into the present now and really tapping into all of the ways in which I could grow spiritually and share my musical journey with all of you. So I thought I would take a moment to talk about tarot and tunes, right? So again, the Strength card, and it meant a lot to me even at the beginning to understand the basic foundation of this card, because she is basically, through perseverance, growing in her inner strength and is able to overcome hardships and learn from those and grow and become stronger through patience and persistence, self-determination. She basically learned the hard way, right? Which I can relate. And just that overcoming obstacles concept, I felt like I always have had like another pair of bootstraps in the closet per se, but I never really got to grow in the ways that I really wanted to. So I kind of was feeling stuck and a little lost and whatnot. So like I said, when I started my tarot journey this last year, I dove in and pretty much study every single day. And then this week during my meditation time, universe said, you know what? It is time to share your tarot journey with your tunes and meld those together. So I'm excited. But I thought I would move into the idea of imagery, right? Because a lot of times we want to find inspiration, and maybe we're just tired of always talking about like our inner feelings per se, right? But every card has this wonderful journey. They all have a journey together, and they all tell stories. And of course, as a singer-songwriter, that's my thing, right? You tell stories. And so bringing a new, deeper level of the imagery that tarot has to offer was super fascinating. So at first I was just sort of like studying the basics and really wanting to understand what universe was speaking to me and how to tap into source and grow my inner intuition and understand my inner self a bit better. But then I really got fascinated with all the imagery, right? And this was sort of a reminder of, where I had been, the strength, the growth that I had already done, but where I was going to be moving into, and I'm obviously still moving into that. I think we're always growing and learning with tarot. Why I think it's so wonderful. But I just love that, we've got the beautiful yellow of intellect happening, intellectual, creative energy. She's got this white robe, which signifies an honest, pure innocence, which I'm definitely not pure or innocent per se, but my desire for that spoke to me, that I do truly want that, right? That wholeness and the balance that occurs. The infinity sign I thought was really cool. It's also on the magician card, but it has the symbolize overcoming internal and external obstacles, right? And that was kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to become a better musician, but I wanted to become stronger inside as well. And then you got this awesome line, and you can see that he's sort of submitted to her, and this kind of represents the taming of our inside, right? Calming that down, and through a confident, gentle, and passionate strength, we're able to tame ourselves and not lose that strength. But there's passion and creative energy, enthusiasm happening. And the other thing that I really tapped into also was there's this growth that is occurring, and you can see in the background, and even maybe some of the hills that you've climbed, but it has a pleasant, hopeful feel to it, right? And that there's growth that's occurring. So those are just some of the things that, I picked up on with my, just wanting to dive deep into the tarot. So I thought I would just share with you. And lastly, there's a number 8. And that's patterns of manifestation, momentum, authority. And so that was encouraging to me to remember to display courage even when I might have doubts, that I truly do have inner strength that I can draw from. And lastly, what I loved about it was there was this power in my voice. There's a part when I was studying that said power in my voice. And I thought, how appropriate, being, that I love to sing and write. And so just this one card alone has been really impacting and very inspirational. So I thought I would share that with you. And I will work on getting a song out to share this kind of, part of my journey, and focused on some of these qualities that I'm learning how to receive from universe. Because as universe provides, universe guides, right? And living in that present now of understanding how to receive and of course grow and tap into that awesome inner strength. So I hope you enjoyed that. I will be again sharing something of a similar nature on next Tune In Tuesday. So I super appreciate you giving a like and to share. And of course, I'm posting this on X. So I also have a Rumble account, which is at Fire With in a capital N, Fire With N. And then on YouTube, I actually have MysticMelody, but both M's need to be capitalized. And then you'll see a picture of me on there. There's another person that has a MysticMelody. Well, there's quite a few, but you should find it pretty easy. And it's got all these topics about, source and universe and all that fun stuff. So anyways, that's that. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye.